welcome to my channel. My name is Gina if you are new here, and I'm the creative here on YouTube behind Create and Daydream. Today I am bringing you quite a long video, and our focus is going to be on Brave Little Taylor's new release for Illustrated Faith called Jesus Saw Her. Right out the gate here, I apologize for the top of these being off the screen. I just filmed a small little video and I adjusted my mount and I forgot to put it back up. My brain is fried. I'm leaving next week for 10 days, so I'm like trying to get all the things done. But I still wanted to show the printables before I cut them out because they're fabulous, and I just am so in love, like especially with these cards. That's the reason I'm shaking them up. But okay, so this set has 2 pages of ephemera, 2 pages of cards. That all comes together in one set. And then there is a pattern paper bundle. So I should say this collection, 2 pages of ephemera, 2 pages of cards, and then you can also pick up the pattern paper, which I suggest you do. It's fabulous. And I'm going to talk about the scripture as we get more into the video. And I just want to let you know, I also am going to put timestamps below because this video is going to be a little bit longer. I feel like this set is a Bible study. It also goes well with Heart Check, which is the devotional. So look below if you're looking for something specific. And while I am still showing you the sets here, let me just give you the heart behind Taylor's set. She says, Luke 13:12 says, when Jesus saw her, he called her over and said, "Woman, you are set free." Many of the women Jesus interacted with in the Gospels go unnamed, but they are never, ever unseen. The Bible includes so many examples of Jesus not only honoring women, but really seeing them. Jesus consistently reached out to heal, free, teach, and empower women for ministry. This set, called Jesus Saw Her, is inspired by the way Jesus honored the women he encountered. Figures like Mary Magdalene, Mary and Martha, and the woman at the well as many more. And I can tell you, this entire collection is based off scripture. Every single word from the set is from scripture, and it's all pulled from different conversations or stories involving Jesus and women. So it's super special. And now let's jump into how this relates to Heart Check. Okay, so if you're not aware, Taylor is at Brave Little Taylor on Instagram. She is part of the Better Together team of artists for Illustrated Faith. They all release the first Tuesday of the month, and they coordinate their sets with the devotional from Illustrated Faith that month. So this month is Heart Check, so all the colors coordinate with this, and doesn't necessarily have to coordinate with the theme. It's just like they get a color map in a sense. So as you can see, you're seeing women of the Bible in here. So Amy Self, who wrote Heart Check, she talks about 4 different women in the Bible, and she talks about their shortcomings and how God's loving character shines through them. And Taylor's set goes in and focuses on quite a few women, and as the title says, how Jesus saw them, how he still interacted with women. So the devotional and this study from Taylor, which I'm making into a study, I think go together fantastically. I think that's a word. And yes, for a hot minute, probably a hot second, my happy planner was up there. We're going to come back to that, but I'm starting from literally like ground zero. How I start. What I always do with Taylor sets is I go to the scripture. And in this case, there's quite a bit of scripture. I am planning on scripture writing everything. So the first thing that I do is I go to my Bible, and I'm just sharing. Right now I'm using the Jesus Bible. It's an NIV version. I started using this when I did The Crucified King, which was Taylor's last collection. And what I'm showing you here is I'm taking this Bible and I'm using washi tape for my studies. So that way I can identify what I am looking at and what I want to go back to. So for Jesus Saw Her, I'm taking this little like red and pink washi tape and I'm putting it on all the pages. This set focuses in on the Gospels, so I'm going to start with Matthew and I'm going to work my way through Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. And anytime the pages double up like this one, I will still put the new color down if it's my initial page, then I wrap the washi around that. So I can share that in another video, but this just gives you an idea of how I mark my Bible to get ready for a study. This is also another opportunity to read and maybe memorize the scripture. In this case, I'm trying to figure out which verses go with which women are identified and have names, and kind of get an idea of how I'm going to work through this, and then how I'm also going to create through this. So I think it's a great time to go in and read scripture as much as possible. I never just read like one verse. I always read what is around it, and in this set it's a great job tailored that gives us a whole section of Jesus encountering women and what happens. So after I have all my pages washi taped or marked the way I want, then I go in and I write down the main scripture. So I go back to the little scripture area on her sets, and in this case, I went through the various Gospels, and I'm showing you here John because I believe that was the one that had the most in it, and I'll just break that down. So I'll put them in order, and that way I can set them up against the ephemera and kind of get an idea of which stories are represented in the ephemera and which like sayings are being said by which women, and just kind of gets me a little bit organized. So this is a good idea if you don't know like everything in the Bible like me. I don't. There's actually quite a bit of this that I had read before, which I was very happy with myself, and I recognized some of it, but then like some of it, there are some instances with women that I had read but I didn't know exactly where they were. So this is why I'm making this into a study. Okay, so I had you on fast forward as I was showing you through the Bible and how I was taking my notes. Now I've slowed you back down to regular pace, and we're going to jump into the creative part of this, which I'm super excited to share. Okay, so we're back in my little faith planner, kind of where I'm keeping a lot of stuff, and here I have another set of just the ephemera. This is on clear MACO sticker paper, and this is what I'm using on my Happy Planner pages, or whatever disc planner you use, or in a journal or a book, or just on paper. I've done studies every which way. So I'm using up everything that I have. I've had Happy Planner stuff for years. I just want to use it up and be done with it. I really enjoy their paper, and I enjoy the disc bound system because I can store it right now, and then I can always come and cut off those pieces and put it in something more solid. So as you can see, this is my title page. This is just fun creativity for me. I flipped it to be horizontal instead of vertical. What I did was I just grabbed some of the cards. They're in no particular order. I quilted them together on a piece of the beautiful paper. I think I used 2 pieces of paper. And then I stamped out Jesus Saw Her with a couple different stamp sets. I will list them below if they're still available in the shop, and then in between I put some pop dots because I wanted the Jesus Saw Her tags to be kind of hanging off. So now let's get into how I've kind of set up to study. I have pages completely done. I have my ephemera, so I'm just going to show you everything. Okay, so we're back to my notes, and one of the best reasons to do this is that way, like when you're going to use a set, you just have everything written down. Like I have all this collected in a notebook. That way, if I go back to the set, I still have everything in order and I know what it is. So that's just an idea for you. Here's some extra ephemera. So again, I printed this on clear sticker paper, and then I believe I printed it twice on cardstock because I want to use them as maybe a little ring book, and then also I created with them on those pages, and you'll see another page here as we go. But I organized these in order, same way, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John in order. That way I could easily get to them. And then here are 4 different incidents or encounters, I should say, that Jesus had with women. They're kind of the smaller story, so I'm keeping them separate. I'm going to add those at the end. Here are the really cute cards that tailor-made, and then here's some extra ephemera. So this represents the women, or Jesus talking to the women. I kind of lined up who I thought was who and where they fit. There I was just showing you that one's on clear sticker paper, one's on cardstock. I like to do that because I think clear sticker paper goes well when you're using it just like strictly in a notebook, and cardstock works well when you're really like paper crafting or wanting to add or anything like that. Here I have all the little extra pieces. This is the scripture at the top. I save this because it has the titles on it, and I end up using the titles on these pages, especially if it's in sticker paper or on sticker paper. And then, you know, I save it till the end, until I'm done using this set. I can always come back and print it, but if I have it, I might as well keep it. Here's some extra little papers that I cut into tabs, and then I always save the art marks, especially with tailor sets, because I use them to enhance or create around the main ephemera pieces, just as she does on her sets, as like how you get them. Okay, for right now, I'm just gonna show you the 4 pages that I kind of started to set up. I did do one of the scripture writings because I just couldn't wait. I really wanted to get into the scripture writing, but I also wanted to share a video. So this first one, with these bigger encounters, I should say, and more scripture, what I did was I took scripture from one of the Gospels. So my focus on this page is Mark, and these two tie in together. So this is when he's going to help raise, or he's going to raise a dead girl, not help, he does raise a dead girl, and then he heals a sick woman along the way. So what I did was I just took like some of the little scripture that she wrote, where she as in Taylor, where she wrote, she told him the truth. She took a little piece out of Mark 5:33, I put that above it. Then I took one of the pieces of ephemera that I thought represented Jesus and the little girl, and then I have that underneath of there as well, where it says, little girl, get up. So what I have paper clipped at the top is the same type of scripture, or the same scripture, just from another gospel. So that way I can tie it all in once I get in here and I write this, or if I take this to my Bible. I can take these pages directly to my Bible and literally copy what I'm doing on this page. So that's an idea. Now this page is focused in, I took Luke's view of this, and this focuses in on Jesus healing the crippled lady on the Sabbath. And this is a big deal. If you know this, I'm not going to get into it too much because I obviously want you to do the study, but I really want to write this out, and I'll write on there a little bit in pencil at the top. Here is my 3rd page that I kind of set up, and I didn't kind of set up, I did like the artwork of this. I just kind of took everything apart as I was setting up so I could just come in and do scripture now. So this is the woman at the well, and there she is on the back. So I know I'm going to use both pages. There's a lot of scripture here, so I know I'll be bringing in more paper, but for now I just kind of leave it at the back. And then this is where I'm showing that there's a lot of scripture, so I know that I'm going to take up these 2 pages, so it's okay to put like her on the back. And when I'm using MACO MACO sticker paper, it's okay to put it on the back because I don't mind writing over it. I just use a regular ballpoint pen. And then this is focused in on Jesus being anointed by Mary. And here's just a kind of a little idea of how I do scripture writing. I always come in and I highlight the scripture. I'll come back in here and like underline words. I'll write like important words in printing, like a printing font, and then I'll just write the rest in my handwriting. Here's another one of the scriptures on the back, and this is going to end up being what this looks like. So this is just taking Taylor's set and cutting it out and putting it together, and it comes out to be this super nice study and something that I can easily go into and use. And for my last main page that I have set up so far, this is Mary Magdalene, and this is, you know, after Jesus has risen and she sees him. So I imagine that she just runs up to him and hugs him, and he's like, okay, you know, that's enough of that. Go and tell, you know, the disciples that I'm alive. And those extra pieces that I will go back up and paperclip here, that's just from another gospel. So it all will tie in together, and it's going to be easy for me to just come in and now study this and write the scripture down. So I love how I set this up. I also think like this will be a great thing to duplicate. Like if you're making this, if I wasn't going to Texas next week, this would be a great thing to make 2 of, because I would love to gift one of these as well. So now we're into some of the creative. Here I have Mary and Martha. I really want to focus in on them because they're not only in Heart Check, but Taylor has them in her study. There's a lot about this duo as sisters. I think it's very interesting. So I'm making them their own little pages. Here I took 2 pieces or 1 full sheet of her pattern paper, and I just cut it down to be like the size that I wanted it to be. And I made this whole sheet a little bit smaller. And what I did was I took an X-Acto knife in the middle there, and I sliced like the middle of that paper open, and then that's the reason it's mounted on yellow paper. So now I have like a little hidden pocket there, and then I made it smaller than the other pages just so I can have the other pattern paper showing through at the bottom. Again, you know, I like studying in something creative, and you know, if I ever think about like giving this away or studying like with my niece or my daughter, then it's, you know, something that is cute to look at as well. You know, that ties us in as women, especially us creatives. So here I'm going to be doing the same thing with Martha. I've got her cut out. I've got some pattern papers, and like I said before, I just really want to study these 2. And then I took a couple more of the pieces of pattern paper. So I cut another sheet in half. I can't remember which 2 went together, but I'm going to use those with these 4 encounters. So these are smaller encounters, but they are all just as important. So they're going to have like their own little study sheet. And then what I might do is I might put those in between my scripture writing. So we'll see. So here's just another thing I do when I'm prepping is I will write specifically because this is the women, I will write the instance or what it relates to, whether like in this case it's Simon's mother-in-law or it's Mary Magdalene that's speaking. That way if these get like messed up, I don't have to go back and research it again. And there's the, you know, cute little pieces of pattern paper, and I will use those with these, or I'll use them some other way. So I kind of have everything cut out and ready to go. So now this is going to be my final page. It's just another creative page. I think it's going to be my final. So what I did was I did some stitching on here. I have a little hidden pocket there. You know, just this will be what I'm planning on writing my prayer at the end. So I do a prayer at the beginning and a prayer at the end. I have a tab there. That way I can tab it in my planner or my faith journal. This is using as a faith journal. I don't even use it as a planner. I've got some material that I'm going to use in some way, shape, or form. And now I just wanted to share these Bible study notes. So these aren't included with this collection. This is old Taylor stuff, but it's something that I feel is timeless and that I always have printed out. So there's Bible study notes that came from one of Taylor's sets. I will link that below. And then I just printed them out in various sizes. And then these different studies, this is like the inductive, the contemplative, various studies that came from Word Nerd, and I just kind of pull those out when I'm kind of thinking about what I want to focus on. And then here are some more of her little study notes. So again, I will put those links below. I think there's something that are great that everyone should have. I mean, not everyone, like if you don't want them, you don't want them, but I think they're fantastic and I use them a lot. And here's an example. So they came out in March of last year, and it was a heart to study. That's what I was getting confused because I knew it was a heart something. So again, those aren't included in this collection. Those are previous, and it's 2 different sets, 2 or 3 different sets. I will make sure that I know that. And now I just wanted to come in and show you, this is how I come in and finish off a page. So I'm in here with, this is the crippled woman on the Sabbath, and here's my 3 main things I use. I use a magic rub eraser, I use a Pentel pencil, I'm a big pencil user, and then I just use like a ballpoint pen that I like. So I'm going to come in and write out this scripture, and then I will show you how I finish it all up. Okay, so with the power of video, it is done, and now I'm just going to come in, I'm going to use those art marks to kind of fill up my page over on the right. So I really love having everything set up. It's easy to come in and write the scripture and just kind of decorate or create a little bit more at the end. Okay, and voila, I have my art marks on there, and now I'm just going to come back in and put this back in my faith planner journal thing. And again, I have this in the order of the gospel, so I'm just gonna put it in where it belongs. And I am done with that. This is how I will finish up this scripture writing. So I love this so much. I just love it so much. I'm really enjoying creating right now. So I'm just kind of showing you this again. But what I want to show you next, and it'll be really quick, is just how easy this would be to go over and put in a Bible. And I think I may do a Bible journaling process video, and I'll make that a separate video. So with a set like this, because it's all related and it's like a Bible study, I always like to just check my Bible and make sure I have the pages available, because I like to have a study all together. Just like you see in my, like a study Bible, I like to have it in a journaling Bible as well. And here I'm just going to show you one of the studies I did of Taylor's. And as you can see, we're walking through Acts, and this was Paul's missionary journey, and I have everything together. So it's really cool to have it all together in one place. So friends, that's the end of my video. This is Jesus Saw Her. I will come back and do a Bible journaling video pretty soon, but thank you all for being here. If you stayed here this long, please leave me like an animal emoji just so I know. And if you have any questions, leave them below. If you'd be interested in doing like a Bible study with me on YouTube, let me know as well. I'm kind of up for that. So God bless you. Know that you're loved, and I hope that you're having a wonderful morning, day, or night.